Action. Pleasure and happiness are two totally different terms, two totally different words, and when it comes to practice and reality, these are two words that means totally opposite things. And probably that's why most of the people are unhappy, because they are using the word pleasure and they are using those activities which are just pleasant. And these pleasant activities are totally on different terms. They are working on different terms. And that's why pleasure and happiness are different. Because, guys, what the pleasure is? Pleasure is I'm happy, but I want more. And I will always want more. I will never be fulfilled. I will never be content. Yes, I will never feel contentment. I will never feel fulfillment. That's what the pleasure is. It's very short term. And when it comes to pleasure, we can't rely on it. We can't rely on it on a daily basis because it will give us a very short-term dopamine. It's dopamine-based activity. Pleasure is always dopamine-based. That's what the smoking gives us, a very quick releasing of dopamine, because we're feeling relaxed for a moment. The same thing is with social media. The same thing is eating junk food. The same thing is like eating chocolate, right? There's something sweet, or watching pornography, jerking off, stimulating our brain with some short-term activities which are about to deregulate our brain, because that's what the deregulating the brain is. We're slowly getting used to the activities which are giving us short-term gratification. And this short-term gratification is teaching us to be weak, just to be weak, because that's what the weakness is. And that's why we are unhappy. And if you watched Mad Men, this is like a TV show, a TV series about a person, about the men in general, who are actually very stick to activities which are giving them short-term dopamine. I mean, the background is not important right now, because I'm talking basically about what the happiness is right now when it comes to chemistry and when it comes to reality, because these are two different things. When it comes to chemistry, what the happiness is based on serotonin apparatus. That's when the contentment is met. That's when the fulfillment is met. I'm happy, but I'm content. I don't want more. I have no more desires. I'm fulfilled with where I am. I don't want more. That's enough for me. I'm happy. I can stay here for longer. I can stay here forever. That's what the happiness is, because that's based on serotonin apparatus, a long term, which is being released slowly and more steadily. So we can rely on it. And then we feel happy for the whole life even, because that's where the meditation is, in this circle of serotonin apparatus. Serotonin based activities are prayer, are trainings, meditations, being calm, being quiet, in a peace and quiet, having a nice conversations with people very often also gives us happiness. Just these things which are very often hard, they will give us serotonin and they will give us happiness. So if you want to be happy from a chemical point of view, you want to look for serotonin based activities, not dopamine based activities. Dopamine is always short term, and it will never give you a real happiness. It will give you pleasure. So back to the Don Draper's thing. Don Draper is a main character in Mad Men. Mad Men is a series, like I told you, in which men were looking for pleasure, not for happiness. I mean, they were looking for happiness, but they never met it, because their work was in an office. They were working in advertisements. They were working under the pressure, and in the times when always they wanted to be promoted. They were looking for promotion. They were looking for something more. They were never content with what they had, because you can't be content if you're always looking for more. And that's why we meet unhappiness. That's what the unhappiness is. Wanting more, having always more desires. That's why we are unhappy. If you stay here, stay calm, stay steady, and stay ready for what the life can give you in the future, that's when you meet the true happiness. And I'm not talking about God, because of course I'm a believer and my faith is getting more and more deep. It's just getting more and more deeper. And I'm getting deeper into the faith and into believing that God is truly giving me happiness. But from a chemical point of view, serotonin-based activities are those who you should be looking for if you are looking for true happiness. Don Draper, a main character once again from the Mad Men, said and wrote in his notes, what is happiness and what do women want? Because he totally had mixed feelings about women and about happiness. He couldn't actually understand what do women want and what the happiness is, because he was looking happiness in short-term dopamine-based entertainments. Once again, he was looking for happiness in short-term dopamine-based entertainments, in women, in step aside, like stepping, when in cheating, right? In like having sex with different women, and with getting more money very often also. But somehow he started not caring about money. He stopped caring about money. And it also gave him a bit more freedom. But then he wanted a power. And power is also addictive. So if power is addictive, then without power, you can't be free. So you will never reach freedom. And if you never reach freedom, you will always never be happy. And it's amazingly difficult to be happy. That's what the truth is. That's what the truth is. It's amazingly difficult to be happy. And most of us will never feel happy. We will just feel pleasure from life. But the thing is that we have to try, right? And we can never give up, because if we give up, that's the finish line. If we give up, if we never give up, there is no finish line here, right? So, guys, remember that we were not made to be unhappy and have fun in life.